there, Africa. Welcome to another episode of African Child. I am Alicia Kiblat Okbeme. And with me I have Adedotun Alicia, who is talking to us about parental pressure. But before we go straight into the topic, we need to know a little about you.
My name still remains Adedotun Alicia. I'm from Alaba Losoria College. I'm 13. I'm in GSS3, and I'd like to defend this right now. Thank you.
Okay, you said the topic is parental pressure. But why did you choose this topic?
Most parents don't realize that they're pressurizing their children, but I feel like if we tell them through this show, they would understand and find a very good way to approach their children when they want to correct them, when they want to talk to them. But I'm not saying that some children actually need the pressure, because some children may, they may feel so spoiled that they don't even know how to act when they're outside and stuff like that.
Okay. So explain to us what's parental pressure. What you mean by parental pressure?
It's when a parent puts a strain on their child for he or she to forcing them to succeed or something like that.
Forcing them to do one thing that they don't actually they don't really want it to, but the parents see it to be something that is best for the child, but the child sees it as something as I don't want to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think the reason why parents actually pressurize their children?
Choice of life partner.
Okay.
See, there are some parents that they could be like, if your life partner is not rich, you can't marry him or her.
If it's not from a particular
religion
or ethnic group,
or like who is his father or mother in the community,
okay.
like he's not popular, how can you marry her? And there are some parents that they can be like, your husband, okay, maybe like he may not be rich, but he used to have a job at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or say, okay, even if he has a job, but the job must be able to take care of her or him, and
things like that. So, like you said earlier, stuff like that. Okay.
Yes.
Continue with the reasons.
Another reason is choice of educational pursuit.
Okay.
Most parents, like when children are going to senior classes, they tend to tell them that they should pick a particular subject. They could tell them to pick science. Mm-hmm. Most parents like science because they feel like they think that science is science students are better than art students or commercial students. That's what I feel like most parents think.
Okay.
And some parents may be like commercial that one day that's what we want, one money. And some parents are like art. You need to express yourself. We express ourselves, so you have to do it too. And the child may not be that kind of person. The child may have sense of a scientist. That maybe she may be shy, or she may be shy, but very brilliant.
Okay.
That's just kind of situation. And
hold on. Okay, so you're trying to say the child should actually be the one to choose its educational process more so. Okay, but don't you think the parents or the teacher should actually guide to help in the decision making?
I understand, but there are some children that it depends on the course they want to study. Like they've been saying that that's what they want to study since they were young.
Okay.
Like I've said I wanted to study medicine since. Well, actually, my occupation has been from 20 for a while, but I didn't say that medicine it can help so many people. Okay. There are some hospitals that they don't like to assist people except they get some particular reports. But I feel like I should build an hospital that people can just come and they will feel comfortable. They cannot. It's not by force they pay their bills before or immediately we are done with the patient. They could when they have the amount of money to pay, they should go ahead and pay.
Okay.
And it's not by force they pay, something like that.
Okay. I get. Okay. Thank you very much, Alicia. Right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Going on a very short break. We're not done with the reasons or causes why parents pressurize their children. So we're gonna continue that after the break. So stay tuned.
The Bible says if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Now, what the righteous can do is just pull down the whole building and erect a more stable and solid foundation. So what we have to do is forget our leaders and let's just build ourselves.
And the parents too should try to move closer to their children. They should know what is happening in their life and what is happening in their school.
You don't need to be discouraged. Be who you are. You didn't come to this life
to live
To impress
people's life,
anybody.
to impress anybody.
We cannot blame only our leaders for being corrupt or doing this. If everyone here can stop being corrupt, and everyone in Africa can just stop this act, then corruption will no longer be a problem in Africa.
If you have proper focus and you have a proper foresight and you know what you are doing, you would come up.
Considering couples, they need to study themselves for a considerable period of time before thinking of marriage, so that the incompatibility stuff does not continue to pop up.
Kofi Annan said, and I quote, "I'm not an African because I was born in Africa, but because Africa was born in me, I'm a bona fide citizen of Africa. I'm an African, and I'm born to rule."
African child, African child, African child, African child.
Parents often mount pressure on their children. Maybe it's because of the family legacy. I've seen a situation where all the males in the family are all doctors. So what's expected of any male child that comes into that family is to be a doctor. So the parents, and the child might have a feeling that no, it's medicine is not my calling. I want to be a lawyer. But then the parents might think it's the family legacy. You can't just derail from the family legacy. So you have to be a doctor, and it often causes some other things. The second one, sometimes parents, maybe a father in his prime he wanted to be a doctor, or maybe because maybe he lost his hand or anything, and he lost, so he was forced to be maybe a lawyer or a human rights activist. He might force his child to be a doctor because he thinks he sees himself as a doctor in the child.
African child, African child, African child, African child.
Welcome back. This is African Child. For those who are just joining us, I am Alicia and I'm with Adedotun, Alicia, who's talking to us about parental pressure. Okay, before we went on the break the other time, we were talking about the reasons why parents pressurize their children, and she gave us the first one, which is choice of
Life partner.
and second one, which is
Choice of educational
pursuit.
process.
Okay, so yeah, I think you would need to continue.
One of the reasons again is because choice of occupation.
Okay.
It's also linked with choice of educational process. There are some parents that they like, okay, the child may have been in science class,
Okay.
but the child wants to study something like, say, the child wants to be like an engineer or stuff like or etc. And so on. But the parents will be like, because you are to me you are very brilliant, and I want you to study medicine. I cannot be going to hospital every day just because I cannot be going to hospital every day and my child is very brilliant. I cannot be paying when I can easily tell my child to go to study medicine. That's why most parents pressurize their children, and those children, they tend to they feel like, and those kind of children, they don't want their parents to interfere in their life again, because they'll be like, every time.
Force me to do what I don't want to do. They only want me to do what they think I should do.
Yes, most of these things, I'm just saying from my own perspective that most of these things happen in rich families.
Okay.
Because those children from rich families, they like, how will I put it? They like get everything they want anytime they want, but their parents want them to have something to do. And there are also some rich families that
Hold on. Okay, go on.
there are also rich families that they want their children to do whatever, like they want them to like have their own occupation, be able to live their life, have the sense of responsibility. But some other parents are just like, to them, they may feel like you don't, like you're not smart enough to do it, but they won't tell you to your face. They'll just be doing whatever you like and things like that. So they feel, by the time they come to choice of life partner or choice of occupation, they just pick something very simple for them, and their child wants to explore, wants to go more than that. But what can he or she do? Their parents have given them what they want. Some parents may give their children whatever they want, but they may be strict. And some parents may give their children what they want, and they will spoil them also.
Okay, yes. So you get what you want, right?
Yes,
Are your parents strict or you are spoiled?
they're strict.
Are you sure?
I'm actually the last born, so I may say I'm actually spoiled and they're also strict. They are not all that strict like some other parents. They will sit down and talk to you face to face. They explain, they ask if you have any problem, and they tell me to feel free to ask them any question I don't understand. If I cannot even ask my sisters, that's just it.
Do you have more the courses?
No.
Going straight to, not wasting time, I'm going straight to the effect of parental pressure on the African child. How do you think parental pressure can affect the African child, both negatively and positively?
Positively, depends on the kind of, actually, it depends on the kind of child they are raising.
Yes.
Some children, they need the pressure because they may not.
They feel so relaxed.
Yes. And once they are being pampered, it leads to depression because they feel like everything that they have is given to them. They don't need anything again. Like they have their money, they have their cars, they have everything once they grow up. And then it turns them to go, I have no problem, let me go into smoking or drinking or drug trafficking or stuff like that because they are rich and their father may be popular in the community.
Okay.
That's just it. Positively, some children, some children may get what they need. They need the pressure in their life, and once they get the pressure, they notice that they may not like the pressure, but by the time they see the result, they will love the result. Okay, for example, maybe my the way I don't think really quick. Let me just say, for example, and then my parents are not pressurizing me that you have to get this straight. You have to understand. You have to understand, and they're pressurizing me to get it. Once I get it, and then I'm already succeeding in life, won't I come back to thank them?
Yes, you.
And negatively, some children, this may lead to depression for them.
Yes, it can affect them psychologically, or should I say, emotionally sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it also leads to children planning on committing suicide
Okay.
because they can be like,
Very first to do everything, so why then should I stay with them?
mm-hmm.
Some will run away from him and end up in the hands of the traffickers, the hands of the traffickers, and also bad friends and so on. Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. You've really spoken well about the effect of parental pressure on the African child. Yes, we'll be going on a very short break right now, and when we come back, I know I have more to say to you guys, and I'm very sure she also has more to say to you. So stay tuned.
Every day I wake up to see the people of Africa languishing in despair, crying, wailing.
As an African girl child, education is our right and we should fight for it.
Our parents should stop releasing us to strangers, and they should not be after money.
Government should give people chance, that is, they should give them freedom of speech because it's part of our right as individuals.
I'm trying to be what I want, but at the same time, get to higher heights and pass my role model.
Every child has a right as a citizen of a particular country under Africa.
Don't wait for the government or everybody to fight for you before you start fighting. If you start fighting, others will fight you.
You are the African child, you own your life, and every single thing you do in your country would affect the national development of the country.
African child, African child, African child, African child.
For parents to force a particular profession or vocation down the throat of any child, it is not right. Well, we have our individual differences and peculiarities. I think it would be very, very appropriate for parents to actually tailor the education and the development of their child towards realizing their potential. That is the most important thing. Not that you force a particular profession down the throat of any child. It is not right.
I am amused that some parents still have that, because growing up, we saw a lot of that, especially from professionals, doctors, the lawyers, the accountants, who insisted, because they thought that was the only way. But things have changed. We have Yoruba graduates of history, who are MDs of banks, financial institutions, and who are doing excellently well everywhere. Because what is university? University provides universal knowledge from where you can pick and choose. I studied engineering, and I can't repair the spoke of a bicycle now because I haven't applied myself seriously to engineering. I've found a passion, which is, to me, gives me the kind of leverage to be happy and to express myself fully as a public speaker and trainer and as an entrepreneur. So why will you deter any child from becoming who he wants to be?
African child, African child, African child, African child.
Welcome back. This is African Child, and I am Alicia baby. For those who are just joining us, and I have with me Adedotun Alicia, who's talking to us about parental pressure. Okay, we talked about, before we went on the break, we were talking about the effect of parental pressure on the African child. So right now we'll be talking about how parental pressure can be reduced, or just it cannot be really stopped, because some children actually need this pressure, but can be reduced and modified in such a way that it does not really affect the child negatively.
Let's say on the parent side now,
Okay.
the parents need to find a very good approach to talk to their parents, talk to their children. The parents need to study their children, know how to talk to this one, how to talk. If they have 4 children, you should know how to talk to the particular child. You should know how the child behaves and react to advice or counseling, etc.
Stop.
And on the children's side, I feel like the children should try and understand that their parents are, they want the best for them anytime, any day. The parents, they should feel like they should understand that the parents are just trying to make them better than they are.
Okay, yes.
They are trying to think about their future. They're trying to advise them. They're trying to give them the right path, the path that they know that it would lead them to the right. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. Now, I haven't talked about all the things related to parental pressure. I need you to give the African child, African parents. Okay, the teachers also have a role to play in this, because they are like parents to the students. So African parents and Africans at large, on how they can prevent this parental pressure from having a great or an adverse effect on the child.
I would advise the parents to know how to speak to their children. They should be able to understand their children's feelings. They should be able to
think like them and think what they think. But not like you should actually be a child, but think what they think alike with them.
Think about what they are going through. And I feel like these children too should understand that their parents are only alive for them. They should be thanking God for that. And I feel like their parents are always there for them anytime, any day, any minute. That they should understand that their parents are only alive. Their parents are always there, even when they are not needed. They should try and understand that their parents are the best people they could ever get apart from God. And on the teacher's side, most teachers just
should try as much as possible to also think alike with the children, with the students, children, African child.
And they should also be able to understand. They should not just put everything on them. They should be able to be okay, well, let's listen from your perspective. Let's listen from the other people's perspective, so they would understand what is going on. They shouldn't just blame one person because the person is the one that everybody thinks is the culprit.
Okay, before we go, I'm sorry, I think I forgot about it. Don't you think you should give us an example of a child who has been pressurized by the parent to do something, like something like that. Okay.
I actually heard about this. I'm not really sure if it's true or if it's not true.
Okay.
Like the girl was really pressurized, like from her teachers, from school, because of her grades, from her parents, and from our colleagues and everything like that. Peer pressure, parental pressure, and social pressure. Everything was just on her. And then because she didn't know what to do. She couldn't talk to anybody. She just she went into the deepest part of the bush. She had to stream her dad's life and explained why she killed herself. She had, from what I also heard, she wrote a letter down for people to read and understand why she killed herself.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Yes, Alicia has spoken to us about how we can prevent, or should I say, yes, how we can prevent the negative effects of parental pressure on the children. So, and I'm very sure the parents have been able to grab one or two things from what she has said, and also the children have been able to understand one or two things from what Alicia has said. That'll be all for this episode of African Child, and I am Alicia Kiblat Okpeyemi. Like you know, she is Adedotun. She is Adedotun Alicia, who just spoke to us about parental pressure. So I come your way next time. The show remains African Child. Bye.
Every day I wake up to see the people of Africa languishing in despair, crying, wailing.
As an African girl child, education is our right and we should fight for it.
Our parents should stop releasing us to strangers, and they should not be after money.
Government should give people chance, that is, they should give them freedom of speech because it's part of our right as individuals.
I'm trying to be what I want, but at the same time, get to higher heights and pass my role model.
Every child has a right as a citizen of a particular country under Africa.
Don't wait for the government or everybody to fight for you before you start fighting. If you start fighting, others will fight you.
You are the African child. You own your life, and every single thing you do in your country would affect the national development of the country.
African child, African child, African child, African child.